Let's talk about landing your first client. Now, I'm going to warn you, this is going to be the hardest thing that you will do in building your business, is getting that first client and getting that monkey off your back. But I promise you, once you're able to do this, there's a snowball effect that begins to happen, and things get a lot easier when it comes to bringing people in and growing your business. So let's talk a little bit about that process. So there's a lot of different strategies that we have here for you to help you land your first client. And the strategies that you choose are really going to come down to your preferences as well as the audience that you're getting in front of, right? What kind of clientele do you want to attract? But I want to touch on a couple of key things that I think most people lack in when it comes to trying to get their first clients. And then something that I wish I would have done more of in the beginning to get that traction to get my first client, because it actually took me quite a while to do this. One of the things that I suggest when it comes to bringing in your first client is starting off, you're learning everything that's required to build this business, which means you're not as confident in it, right? And when you're not as confident, it makes it harder for you to sell. So here's what I would suggest, and here's what I would do if I could go back and I was reacquiring that knowledge. First, start conversations on the basis of trying to understand the industry and figure out what would be valuable for them as far as what they need. So your first conversations, instead of trying to selling them, maybe talk to people and say, hey, I'm putting together a case study, or I'm putting together some information on a marketing program that I'm starting to build, and I want to find out what would be the most useful for you if it were offered to you, something that you would buy right away. What is something that would really be helpful for the X industry, or this roofing, dental, medical, real estate, whatever your industry is. And then that way you can be armed with the information of what they really want, build it, and then sell it. And you can even go back to those same people you originally had a conversation with, because what's going to happen is you're going to disarm them with that original conversation. You don't have anything to sell to them right away. They're going to give you everything that you need. And then you can finish that conversation with, hey, if I were able to put something like this together based on everything you told me today, would this be something that you'd be interested in moving forward with us once we have it put together? If they say yes, which they probably will, then that means that we can reach back out to them in the next couple weeks, 30 days, 60 days, whatever it takes for you to build this, and then offer it to them when we know that they'll have an interest. Another strategy that I like, and I utilize this strategy a little bit myself and it worked really well, we started picking up steam, is sending out video audits directly to them and that are detailed for their business. So looking at things that they're currently doing and giving them information on how they can improve based on things that you offer. So that's another good way to send something out to somebody, get their attention, and then hopefully they schedule a call with you and look at you as an expert in the space and are interested in what you're selling. And then lastly, don't be afraid to do free trials. And I know it's tough. You're building a business, you're putting in some overhead. Luckily with this, it's very light overhead to build this kind of business. You're not talking about thousands of dollars. You're really talking about a couple hundred, but still overhead, right? And I think it adds some pressure to us. So what I would do though, even with that being said, I know there's this panic on getting people in, but don't be afraid to offer free trials. Let someone test something out for 2 weeks or 30 days, get some results, and then sell the package. Another cool strategy behind this is if you could build someone or a couple people with a free trial, maybe let them know that, hey, in return, could we use this as a case study? And could we use you as a referral for new clients? And that's going to help you a lot because you're going to have somebody now to refer to and results to refer to when you're selling whatever package you put together, so that they can see hands-on the kind of results that you got. They can actually speak to them if they want a referral, and you have somebody on your team to help promote you. An example I'll give you guys, we've had a client of ours now for over 3 years. He's one of our original clients. We actually ended up getting him through cold email, which we don't even run cold email these days, but that was a big win for us. And he had a YouTube channel, and he actually gave us a shout out in his video and then tagged us on Calendly. So he put our booking link in there let everybody know about what we do for him, and then say, if you're interested in something like this as well, give Blake and his team a call. We still to this day, that video was put together over 2 years ago, we still to this day get calls in from that video, from that referral. And we pay out Alex a referral fee every time we get somebody who books into that link. And it is very, very useful and very big for our business, because I will happily pay him a referral fee to bring in those new leads and those new closes for us. And we pay it out every time we close somebody. So we close a deal, we're paying him a portion of the deal, which is small compared to what we're bringing in. And we might be bringing in somebody who ends up being a client for the next couple years. So it's a no-brainer on both ends. It's a win-win on each side. So that's another thing that you could package together. You could start building out a referral package for current clients, or for anybody in a free trial to start to shout you out in groups, on YouTube, on their own personal Facebook, and in different areas, so that you can start getting warmer calls. Because I promise you, those calls with somebody who already knows a little bit about your business and has heard good things are going to be so much easier to close than calls with somebody who's coming in cold, who has no idea about anything about you. So you're really just trying to build a system in which people are getting familiar with you, comfortable with you, and understand what you do, so that they start to come to you to buy instead of you coming to them to sell. So getting your first client, you want to utilize some of these tactics, put them together to make it easier for you. So don't be afraid to do free trials. Don't be afraid to put together videos of information to businesses that you're looking to work with, because these things are going to help you get that first client. And once you do get that first client, start to have that snowball effect of going from 1 client to 2 to 5 to 10, 15, 30, 50, and onwards, depending on how big you really want to make this. But if there's going to be a mental barrier for you early on, you're probably not going to close your first call. You're probably not going to have that instant success. And you're really going to have to focus and break through that barrier, focus on the process and not the results, and know that if you do that, you do these things that I mentioned, your first client will come, and it will lead to your second, your fifth, your 10th, and more clients onward as you continue to build this business.